I'm gonna wait to see if anybody shows up. Hey, Maddie, how are you? Hey, Mike, thank you for joining. This is a protest from AIM, American Indian Movement, and I'm here. Unfortunately, I can only stay in one spot. Hi, Mike, welcome. I can only stay in one spot because if I move, then my internet goes down. So I have to stand in one spot here. But this is St. Cathedral. I think I'm pronouncing it right. Cathedral, whatever the hell the name is. Catholic Church. And we already had some stuff going earlier today. I have the video of it. So what's going down, Mike, is I'm with the American Indian movement, which is called AIM, and they're protesting children getting raped and murdered with the Catholic Church. So that's why they are here. Um, there's a lot of people here. Not a lot, but you know, enough to. There's enough people. I wish I could move, but I can't. To Mike. So I only see two people in here. Oh my God! I hope that wasn't thunder. Who's still here? Give me a one if you're still here. See if I can. Ah. Oh. There's 5 people in here. So the oops, sorry, 4 people that are in here, um, hit that like button. And if you're not a subscriber, please subscribe. Um, all the mods, if there's any mods in here, make sure you 3 people, 3 likes. That's good. I appreciate that. Thank y'all for being here. So some more people showing up here. One pumpkin what? That I was standing there and it's saying reconnected. I wonder why, Mike. I wonder why. And I'm being sarcastic. It's pretty much a peaceful protest, even though we're on the property, which I'm willing to go to jail if they are. We got more gathering. So, like I said, if you haven't, hit that like button. And if you haven't subscribed yet, do that too. Much appreciated. Oh man, somebody's wearing some heavy cologne. I got 6 people in here, got 4 likes. Hit those thumbs up. Mods, do your job. Oh man, I gotta move. It's, whoever's wearing cologne or whatever they're wearing, look like, smells like they bathed in it. Jeez. So if I lose y'all, um, rest assured I'll try to come back. Whoa, 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 whoa. Fight. Go three. Go three.
And you can get the fuck up out of here. Get him up out of here. He's a bitch. Get him up out of here. Why would you do that? Why would you hit him? Why would you hit him like that? No, that's what they want. That's what they want.
They saw you harass me. Will you follow me?
No.
And they saw everything that Blood! I'm tired of the blood! I'm tired of the blood! I'm tired of the blood! Why is it there? Because you hit somebody first!
Oh, so much for peaceful.
Because you hit somebody first!
Oh, so much for peaceful protest.
I'm tired of the blood, man. Why don't you leave then? You're a problem.
I wanted to talk to him. No, he was getting in my face with John. I saw you go. No, he kept doing that. That's all you saw. You didn't see him. But you can't get up on somebody like this. No, I kept walking. He's like this.
Yep, might come back. Yeah, there was a fight. This guy here, not the one with the red, but the one with the orange, started a fight with one of the guys. And this guy, right here, this one right here, lost.
Everyone are college. You don't know anything about the church. You don't know any, all your history lessons come from them. They wrote the books. They taught you like the Spanish Inquisition never happened. And it was commissioned by public life. 3,000 Spaniards dead in 30 years. That's not a slide. Never happened. You guys know it. Hey, we're gonna get up fishing. Aren't you might have to fight back some time for you? Because you'd be too dumb. We'd be too dumb, or we could beat it out you guys. We'd be too dumb. We'd be too dumb. We'd be too dumb. You're the first one to say that. How can I answer a question that's inaccurate? Look, come and look at it.
You want to go? Let's go look at it.
You're disgusting. God sees everything. Creator does see you. You're gonna have to pay for that one. You fucked with the wrong one.
So I might lose my connection.
I do. Every quarter, I do.
You know, one person might say one thing, the video never lies. I'm Derek, by the way.
John.
John, nice to meet you, man. Be great. All right, so I'm going back to my spot here. That guy's cool. Let's see if I can. Sorry about that. I'm trying to get this There we go. Keeps sliding down. I'm on this, using this pole. I'm gonna stop right about here. Uh, it would be the guy behind or in front of this lady with the orange shirt. Let's see. See the guy with the white beater shirt on? Him right there. Oh, shit. Hey, yeah, he will. This will get in somebody's face. Glad what? Glad was the other guy, not me. Oh wait, that's not him. Oh yeah, that is him. Uh, you can't see him because there's people standing in front of him. But this guy is huge. Oh, there they go. They're moving him. They're moving now. That guy, right there, with the white tan top shirt. Hey y'all, I'll be right back. I'm gonna hopefully just stay up. I'm gonna go grab a soda. Who's you? Who's you? Can everybody hear me all right? Today we're gathering to bring attention to the children.
I was given that name by a friend who passed away, and I didn't learn about it until after he had passed away. And it turns out he gave me his name, and that was Herb Sam. And we don't want to be here. How many of us have cried? Tears of anguish and sorrow. And there's more tears to come. And we're already told to get over it. I'm holding this Bible in my hand. And we're talking about 2021 in the year of our Lord. So that means the whole world believes, Jesus, because of the fact that they all believe in 2021. Except for the Jews, they're 5781. They got their own little calendar on the side because they don't believe all this bullshit. But this Bible is a weapon of war. This is a very dangerous weapon. This book, along with the Torah and the Quran, have killed more people probably than any other books in the world. And in this book, it says, thou shalt not steal, thou shalt not lie, thou shalt not kill. And they took those little kids away from their parents, the border of the newly created concentration camps or reservations. And they put them in those schools and they shoved this book down their throat. All the while the church and the state were stealing everything they could steal. The land, the resources, our language, our culture, our spirituality. They took everything. So you don't need to look any further than the prisons, the homeless on Franklin Avenue, our suicide rate, and you'll see the legacy of this church. Prisons are full of this legacy of the boarding schools. And then they said, you're done, you can come out, you can be part of us. Yeah, after you took everything. If you just work hard, that's what you need. You just need to work hard, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. So when they came to this country, there was nothing here. Absolutely nothing and no one. And because of their tenacity, the Pilgrims, the pioneers, and the settlers, they built the greatest country in the world all by themselves. They don't want to bring up the slaves that had to do all the work for them. They don't want to bring up all the land and resources that were stolen to make the greatest country in the world. They want to skip over all that. But you know what? I want to talk about Jesus Christ for just a minute, if you don't mind. I don't accept him as my Lord and Savior. Never did, never will. I accept him as my brother who lived and died. I believe he was a philosopher, an educator, teacher, a healer. He was a prophet. He was all those things. And who did Jesus hang out with? He hung out with the whores, the thieves, the beggars, and the drunks. That's who he hung out with. He didn't hang out with the priests and the senators and the mayors, and to him those were the wicked people. Now, could it be that Jesus hung out with these people because he could see the good in them, and he did not hang out with them because there was no good to see in them? And could it also be the fact that the whore was selling her ass, and maybe the drunk was drunk, or the addict was on drugs, or the thief was stealing, and the beggar was begging? Could it be it was because of them? Could it be it's because they took everything? And when he went into the temple, do y'all remember when he went into the temple all pissed off, made a little whip, start tipping over tables, and the slaughter that was happening. And what did he say? He said, the kingdom, the Creator is in you. It's not in the church. There's evil in the church. It's a den of thieves, he said. And what did they steal? They stole our culture, our language, our spirituality, our land, our resources, and our kids. They stole those little bitty kids. So now we are the ancestors of people who are unborn, and we can't. And so, like I said, Jesus hung with those people. That's all you need to know. You don't need to come to a place like this. Read the book once. Take out what you need from it. You don't have to give your money to these people. If you want to help the homeless, and that's what Jesus did. He hung with a certain group of people, but then he helped the homeless, and he helped the widows, and he helped the orphans. That's the people he helped. Why do you have to make everything? The church and the state, even that, everything. And so, like my mom said, Mike, all I know is Jesus. That's all I know. I'm not telling you to stop loving Jesus. If you love Jesus, love Jesus. Do what he did. Love
Right.
who he loved. Be like Jesus. You know, I'm happy for you. He did not save those children. He did not. He needs us to stand up. He's dead. And it's up to us. The Creator is in us. That's what he was telling you. It's time for us to stand. People say, well, the Creator handled it. Just let it go. The Creator handled it. Bullshit. The Creator is busy, if you haven't realized. It's time for us to get up off our asses and do what needs to be done here. That's what needs to be done. And these people have ran Jesus' name through the mud for years. I mean, this poor man, he would be turning over in his grave right now today if he had one. You know? So don't let them change your mind. You know, if you love Jesus, continue to love Jesus. And the thing is I know every one of you can't be out there helping the prostitutes and helping the drunks and the addicts and those people. But maybe what you can do is get over here and start voting these people out. Start standing up. The genocide is continuing to this day. I just got back from the Mississippi River up north where we're putting a pipeline in. The genocide hasn't stopped. That's still going on to this day. And these people support it. They got 350 parishes and over 750,000 parishioners. And when I called and talked to these people last year about getting some resources to help with the homeless, they couldn't help. They couldn't help with a penny because all that money they had was given in the lawsuit, the sexual assault lawsuit against these kids. That's where all the church's money went. They couldn't help us out at all. I said, why don't you sell some of the buildings? Oh, those parishes are all individually owned by each parish. See, they got loopholes for all this stuff. And I guarantee you more churches are going to burn. They're going to burn, you know? And I'm not so sure that the church leaders aren't doing the burning of the church to get rid of the bodies that are hidden in the walls or maybe the records. You know, who knows who's burning those churches down? And I've been at this for a long time, ever since the Columbus debacle over here. And this is what I've been talking about in the schools. And every time I speak to the kids, I always say, why is it that there's a cemetery in the backyard of the boarding schools? The only schools in the country that there's a backyard and they have a cemetery there. You know, and I know some of those kids died of pneumonia maybe and tuberculosis, but what about the ones who died during giving birth? And the father of the child was the priest. You know, what about the babies who were thrown in incinerators when they were born? And of course, now the ones we found with the unmarked graves. And I can see, because we don't have much media here, what you call mainstream media, they don't want to hear it. America does not want to hear this. And when I was sentenced, my great lawyer here, Jack Rice, convinced the prosecutor to acknowledge the genocide that happened on Turtle Island. And they acknowledged the harm that it has done and that it's mainly unknown to the mainstream community. They have no idea what happened here. And but we need more people to acknowledge that. And this is just the start. And I talked to Hebda here. He said he could be here next week if we wanted to postpone. I said we did want to postpone. And but you know, these guys with these mega churches and their jets and they fly around with all the money they got, they can't be bothered. They can't be bothered with stuff like this. I mean, hell, it's only a bunch of Indian kids. It's not like they're white or anything. So anyway, that's what we're here for, and I'm just wondering if there's anybody else who would like to come up and say a few words. In particular, I'm looking at my sister here, Crystal, because she's been affected by this, just like everybody else. So if you wouldn't mind, Crystal.
My name is Crystal Norcross. I come from the Sistan Wafden Oyate. But I live here in Amnesia Stuff. That's what this name of the city was before colonization. It talks about those white cliffs, the mounds. That's where our ancestors are buried now. Right now with my children. I have 4 beautiful brown children. And to break this news to them was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. But the one thing I don't do is hold back. Because they're gonna have to be faced with this reality later on in life. But I come from a family. My grandma, she was in residential schools. She's fairly young. And she told me some stories recently with everything that's been happening. And, you know, this affects everybody in my family. I have a huge group right here of my family. And we all have babies. We all come together to support, but it's like we're not being heard over and over again. I could blast this shit on Facebook and everything. I could scream at somebody, I could shout and yell, and I'd still be silenced. I work very high up in some very important tables. This conversation hasn't come up once in anything that I've done. Not once. And I mean, these were kids, babies. I look at my babies, I look at my nieces and nephews, I look at everybody's children, and I think, damn, this wasn't that long ago. It really wasn't. But maybe 1 generations ago. And I just want you guys to all, if you can, put out a spirit play. Say prayers on behalf of these kids. There's going to be more and more that they're finding, so we have to protect our spirits as well and take care of it the way that you take care of it. But also, stay vigilant. Stay vigilant. keep bringing it up in any conversation you have. Make sure that awareness is there. That's all I can tell you. Like, I'm very speechless because I don't want to get super emotional. Pissed as hell. I am so pissed that I gotta come up here and look at this thing. Anywhere I go in the city, it's on the highest point of the city. Can you believe this? And then we got cops that are gathering over there. Oh, good. Well, fuck the police anyways.
Woo!
But, you know, we know where we are in life when it, I guess what I want to say is, remember to just bring this up to everybody. Like I said, I can't stress that enough. Post it everywhere, scream it. I didn't wear orange today. I wasn't orange earlier, but my kid threw up on me. But honestly, please, email your politicians. I know Mary Commission's over here, and I love this lady over here for the work that she's done with MMIW. So I'm just saying that gathering in time, this is going to be a bigger movement because we haven't even got to the United. I'm not going to be silenced anymore. I am not going to be silenced anymore. So I appreciate what everybody's time for being here today. Thanks for letting me talk.
Yeah, I'd like Mary to come up. This is our newly elected senator. She made other plans for today, but she moved them around so she could be here with us today.
I am Senator Mary Cornish. I am a descendant of a long line of strong Lakota women. My cousin right here, we have strong genetic connections. My mother, her father was born and raised out on Rosebud and Standing Rock Reservation. He came here to St. Paul with his mother during relocation and started a life, but we left a lot of our family back in Standing Rock. But my grandpa never let us forget about that important heritage that we all had left on the prairies. And part of that heritage were the stories of loss, of pain, of betrayal, and part of that is the story of the boarding school situation. Well, my grandpa didn't end up at a boarding school, his brother did. And if you look back on the records from Carlisle Industrial School in Pennsylvania, if you look at his records, you'll see that he was enrolled a number of different times over about 8 to 10 years. And we can't tell his story because he's not here to tell the story, but we can sort of read between the lines. And my great uncle Collie, from what I understand, was a bit of a rascal. He was terribly charming, married my friend over here's grandmother, and started a family as well. But what we do know about Collie is that he was a runner. He ran away from that school time and time again and was always returned. But he did not return the last time when he escaped from the boarding school, jumped on trains to get back to the reservation, fell off and had part of his limb cut off. It wasn't until he lost that limb that they finally let that poor boy go home and stay home. And that's just one story. Those of you who are of Native descent in this group and everywhere we go, every one of us has that family story to tell. Of family members, children that were taken from their families by force, by coercion, told that if you don't send your children away, you won't get the foods and the supplies that you were promised. We'll take your land. Things will happen if you don't give us your children. Or they would just go in and take them. They would literally pull up to these homes, get out, take the children, and leave. little children to assimilate to a world that was so foreign to them. They weren't allowed to speak their language. Their hair was cut off. They were forced to wear clothing that was uncomfortable. If they did speak their language, they were punished harshly. And then they were forced to be indoctrinated into the Christian faith. This was all in the world of Christianity. And if you go back to the doctrine of discovery from the Pope back in the 1700s, he gave free rein to European men to travel the world and conquer whatever lands that they found and claim it as their own. And not just claim the land, but claim the people and all of the bounty that is on those lands. And because of that, all of us carry that genetic hurt of our ancestors. Not one of us is not touched by the terror and the pain and the murder of our relatives. 5 years ago, I was elected into the House of Representatives. I was only the third Native woman to be elected into the House. Never before had we had a caucus of Native Americans in our legislature. And joining with Susan Allen, with our Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan, with Representative Becker Finn, we created the very first Native American caucus that our state has ever had. And with that, we have been passing legislation that is really, really making a difference for our Native folks. It's slow work, but it's important work. I was able to create a missing and murdered Indigenous women's task force. We had 18 months to study that tragedy here in Minnesota and put together probably the most comprehensive report in the nation. And we didn't stop there. We knew that we were only beginning the hard work. This session, we created a permanent office for missing and murdered relatives because we know that violence, that historic violence, was not just to our women and our girls. They weren't the only ones that went missing or were murdered. It was our men and our boys and our two-spirit folks. And just because we put this report together didn't mean that we were done. And so this session, we created that permanent office of missing and murdered Indigenous relatives here in Minnesota. Again, unprecedented legislation in this nation. And we are hoping that it will continue to stay. But part of the story of the missing and murdered Indigenous relatives is this
We got a humble ourselves in the eyes of our children.
Can I have a copy?
We gotta bend down low. We gotta humble ourselves in the eyes of our children. We gotta know that